Hey everyone, my name is Pixel, and welcome back to another episode of Selene, Apoptosis. Now, if you remember what happened in the last episode, we decided to tell Hope about the shadow that we saw in the kitchen. Asked her if anybody she knew might have entered the apartment, and she thought that we were talking about when she stole a cupcake. Now, we're finally sitting down, we're going to finish our project, and we're going to see what lies next for us. Hope looked up from her magazine and leaned over the armrest. You had a call from the agency. Ethan just got back from the shower. He froze in place, clutching the towel at his waist. Something cold stirred uncomfortably in his stomach. The project. He had completely forgotten about the agency project, and it had been more than 2 weeks. The deadline was very close. He started for the phone, but Hope just waved her hand lazily. Don't worry, I picked up. What did you tell them? I told them you stopped eating, sleeping, and loving anything other than work, so they'll get their files all nice and shiny. Pretty accurate, huh? Yeah. Just don't pick up my phone again, okay? Hope shrugged. Sure. I mean, it was you who asked me to answer the calls in the first place. Yes, I know. When I just started working for them, it was important to let them see I am always in touch. Now that I've passed the probation period, there's no point in piling this on you any longer. Thank you for covering for me. No problem. If you're getting a call and I'm not too lazy to go pick it, I can keep watching your back. No, you really shouldn't. This project is complicated. I'd rather deal with it myself. Ethan sat rigid. He never considered himself a good liar, but Hope didn't seem to notice anything. She sighed, pretending to be upset, and rolled her eyes. Well now, guess I'm being fired from an unpaid secretary position without any honors or compensation. Capitalism sucks. Ethan leaned over, tucked a strand of blonde hair behind her ear, and looked into her eyes. His hand remained on Hope's cheek. Your help is very important to me. Hope's hand went over his. She closed her eyes. I know. I couldn't have done it without you. What else is new? They kissed. When Hope pulled away, she looked pleased, a sly smile on her lips. Are we still going to the store? I'm not sure. Oh, they reached for each other again, but the phone gave a shrill ring. After the phone call this morning, Ethan turned the silent mode off. Oh well. My city needs me. Ethan briefly pressed his lips to her forehead. Hope sighed and slapped his ass. Whoosh. If God exists, he really wants us to buy some zucchini. I'll go and get dressed. The call was from the agency. They needed more details and dates. Ethan went out into the hallway and tried to make it sound as plausible as he could. Yes, he understands that the deadline is very close. No, there were no serious hitches in the work. Yes, he will send everything on time. When the call finally ended, Ethan's neck and face were flushed by this time. He was a lousy liar after all. Ethan had to catch his breath. When he returned to the room, Hope was reaching for his laptop. What are you doing? Hope glanced at him over the shoulder. This time she looked surprised. Nothing special, really. Just wanted to print out some discount coupons. What about it? Ethan left a bunch of files and tabs open. They had nothing to do with the agency project, and he didn't want Hope to see them. After all, she did know enough about his projects to serve as a sort of secretary. About all the projects, except the one that Ethan shouldn't have taken because it wasn't paid for. Maybe his fears were irrational. Maybe Hope wouldn't blame him. But Ethan felt ashamed, and he didn't want to take any chances after what had happened this morning. I have lots of unsaved files in there. Some important information might get lost. Can I print those coupons myself? Ethan felt the heat rise again in his neck and cheeks. Hope stared at him for a few seconds. Ethan couldn't read the expression on her face, and that creeped him out. He was ready to hear the reproaches. He even agreed with them in his mind, but Hope simply walked away. Sure. I'll send them to your mail. She knows. She knows. He is a bad liar, after all. I would not doubt it if she knew exactly that he was hiding something. They spent most of the way to the store in tense silence. A few times Ethan asked something, just to make sure Hope was still talking to him. Hope was, though the answers were dry, and she never even attempted to make a joke. It's not that bad, Ethan told himself. It's not that bad at all. If you repeat it again and again, you can buy a little time. But in the end, the anxiety will prevail. It always does. Ethan's mind quickly figured out the owner was trying to trick it and spat out the chewing gum. At that moment, Ethan got caught in an avalanche of thoughts he didn't want to deal with and couldn't in his current state. Something had to be done, to be said. But what? Maybe he should actually do something after all. Ethan imagined touching Hope's fingers, and he immediately saw her pulling the hand back, her eyes glistening, and how she opens her mouth to ask the question Ethan had no answer to. They'd have to talk, one way or another. Ethan didn't know where to start without burying himself even deeper. He had been thinking about it the whole way, but never came up with anything. My man, you talk about wanting to do better, and then you just pull this crap again? The huge supermarket on the next block, a place they had long dubbed the store, was bustling with life despite the rather late hour. As soon as they entered the large glass doors, the tension began to come off on its own. And they're happy now. At least, sure hope they are. Well, she's smiling now. The carts were scarce, but Ethan got them in one in exchange for a coupon. Hope gave him a thumbs up with a not bad at all expression on her face. Not bad. Hope enthusiastically presented a huge, colorful, utterly ludicrous mug, and Ethan immediately agreed that they had to buy it. They tried to find a pair for the mug, but a brooding supermarket employee said it was the last one. They were a little disappointed, but, well, at least that was something. Looking for the mug was the thing that finally did the trick. Now they were huddled together, looking for their favorite treats and arguing about which breakfast cereals are the best. That's how it was until they reached the meat department. I'll go pick something out before it's all cleared, Hope nodded absently. She was stuck at one of the big fridges in the middle of the hall. Okay, I'll be waiting for you here. The meat shelves were half empty as usual this hour. Ethan was hoping to find a steak or some mincemeat. However, he soon forgot about both. And why is that? Why are you forgetting about things? There was a girl standing by one of the shelves. Ethan couldn't see her face, only her pale back under a white dress with thin straps and also her disheveled dark hair. Ethan's cheek was stung with cold as if his face was lying on the shelf in one of those refrigerated display cases. I think we know who this is. I think we know exactly who this is. Just between the pork ribs and a lone ribeye and a black polystyrene foam tray. Is that her? Ethan took a few uncertain steps forward. Then he backed away, almost knocking over a nice old lady. He couldn't even muster an apology for it. Grabbed the first thing that came to hand and turned around to the nearest row of shelves. He tried not to run, because it would have looked too stupid, Ethan explained to himself as he reached down the end of the row and peered around the corner. The girl was still picking out meat. Isn't that what you're doing now, stupid, too? For sure it is, Ethan agreed with himself. It's Selene. We've run into a cat in the store. The cold nether no longer burned his cheek, and the girl seemed quite ordinary. Except she was dressed too tightly for the current weather, but that was still not considered a crime in any of the states. Ethan smiled to his own thoughts. Generally speaking, the girl was rather attractive, and her light clothing allowed one to fully appreciate it. Her thin waist passing into a seductive curve of her hips, and beneath the folds of white fabric one could make out her rounded buttocks. Then? What? I was asking, broccoli or Brussels sprouts? Hope stood still with two colorful plastic bags in her hands, looking at Ethan questioningly. He blinked several times, squinting as if he had just stepped out into the bright light from a darkened room. When did he get back to Hope? Why was he holding a bottle of Thousand Island dressing? I don't know. He was a little dizzy. Are you all right? Yeah, never mind. I'm sorry. I was just lost in thought. Thousand Island dressing makes me go places, okay? Hope tried to not look in the direction Ethan had been focusing on for so long. She really tried, but sometimes trying isn't enough, no matter how much effort you put in. At that very moment, the dark-haired girl's light white dress was floating away from the meat shelves. She must have finally made her choice. I see. For a moment, Ethan thought both colorful plastic bags were about to slap him in the face. But Hope just smiled and tossed the bags into the cart. Ethan heard them crunch loudly as they hit the bottom. Well, let's take both. Variety is the spice of life. Yes, that's it. We're going to take the broccoli and the Brussels sprouts. Veggies for all. They hadn't bought any zucchini. Oh, man. We forgot about the zucchini. That night, he had another dream about the white room. And with that, that is where we are going to leave it off for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. How dare we forget about the zucchini? Poor Selene. Selene made us go crazy. And we forgot about the zucchini. Hope was asking us broccoli or Brussels sprouts. Then we had Thousand Island dressing. The Thousand Island dressing make you go crazy. But that was good. I enjoyed the playfulness of that episode. And them two, they seem to be, growing closer once again as of what happened in the beginning with the coupons and the laptop. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed what you saw, feel free to like the video. You want to see more content like this? You want to see other videos I've done? You want to follow along with the series? Subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell. Get notified whenever more of these videos come out. Thank you guys again for watching. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye now.